The Louie Anderson Podcast. Oh, yeah, baby.
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me.
We've been apart more than we were together. I know you're gone, but I thought you'd stay. I call you up even though I know better. I know you're gone, but I thought you'd stay. I know you know I can't let go. I can't let go. I know you know I can't let go, so let me go. I'm still head over heels and I wanna get up, 'cause I know that you're not, but I'm still head over heels. I wanna get up, I wanna get up.
Hey, Sophie, that's Sophie Ann
Hi.
from her new album, Just Me. Hey, Sophie, where can they get it? On iTunes? Or where's the best?
Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, anywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Sophie, I'm so proud of you.
Aw, thank
Uh,
you.
and I've been loving your Instagram. And that's Sophie Ann Music.
Yeah.
So I have been loving it because, like one day I'll go on, you'll be singing one of your songs, and then you'll do a cover of someone else. And I think did you do Bridge Over Troubled Waters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. When you did that morning, I cried. I thought it was
Aw,
so beautiful.
thank you so much. It's
You
been
want to tell
fun.
people about our connection, Sophie? How we know each
Yeah.
other?
So my dad has been working with Louie for forever as your booking agent, right?
Excellent. Yeah.
And I've heard from him for years how sweet and amazing you are and just how
Oh,
good of a person you are in general. And now I'm experiencing it. You're just like the nicest person ever.
well, likewise. Likewise, you are. And
Thank you.
when I saw your album come out, it was like a uncle being proud of his niece or, you know,
Oh,
grandchild or whatever you would be, or even my own, flesh and blood. Because Steve, your father, Steve Levine at ICM, give him a little plug, is just the greatest. And your mom, the
yeah.
greatest too. Your mom, Linda,
Yeah.
uh,
They're both pretty great.
Linda Music.
Yeah. Linda Music.
Yeah. And what what have you been doing? Like you went to school? Did you go to school for music or?
I did, yeah. Initially, I went to college for acting in Boston, and then I realized pretty quickly that I wasn't meant to. That was just wasn't meant for me. I had been doing musical theater in high school, and when I went for acting, I just missed the music part so much, and I just realized like that was the core of what I wanted to do. So then I transferred to Berklee College of Music, and then I did songwriting there for a couple of years, and then I left and just started doing it on my own from there.
Brooklyn or Brooklyn. What am I talking about?
Boston.
Boston and then Berkeley.
Yeah.
And Berkeley that's a beautiful campus. That's a free campus. Am I right? That's
There's a Berklee that's in California, and then the Berklee Music
oh
Conservatory is in Boston.
you were
So I
in
was,
Boston both times.
yeah.
See, this is why I'm not college educated. You can tell. Uh,
No,
but how was that?
everyone makes that mistake. It was
Did
it
you
was
love
good.
Did you love being in that far away from your family for a nice, when you're a teenager, that's kind of a cool thing at first, at least, right?
Yeah, so it was like the thing to do to go to the East Coast when I was in high school. So I didn't even apply to any schools in California. And then once I got there, I definitely missed my parents a lot. And
Yeah.
then I would come home a lot. And but I love Boston and I love the East Coast, but I don't know, maybe it was too soon to leave.
No. Hey, let me ask you this. What was your first, were you always, was music always part of your life? Because your mom has done lots of musical theater, am I right?
Yeah, my mom, she went to school for theater. She's done a lot of theater and acting. And then my parents met in a disco band. So my dad's a guitar player also. So I grew up around music my entire life. And when I was younger, they would throw me into musicals when I was like 7 years old and just like always have me doing stuff like that. So I've always been surrounded by music.
So, do you think you could send me the picture of your dad in the disco band? Gotta
Yes,
have that.
absolutely.
Gotta have that photo.
He has
Um,
a little afro.
that's so cool. You know, so so you go to school, you decide you're not going to be an actor, and I think school probably is a lonely place, especially if you go to a city like Boston. No offense to Boston, but that's kind of cliquish, and I don't
Yeah.
know if the school was. Um, So was it hard? Was it hard and then also good because it was hard for your music? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you suffer a little and are lonesome and you get
Right.
your heart broken, and it sounds like your heart was broken on that last song, that first song there that you
Yeah,
played for
I've
us.
had my heart broken so many times.
Yeah. Oh, that's a
But
mandatory for a songwriter, a singer, and songwriter,
yeah. But
an
yeah,
artist like yourself.
college was difficult. It was really, really competitive at Berkeley, which was good for me in a way and also not great for my self-confidence. So I think that's kind of why I left after a couple of years. I think 4 years wouldn't have been great for me, but I learned so much there. I kind of like met my people there. I finally felt like I had my college experience because I was around musicians who I could relate to, and I loved it there.
I'm really happy. Do you remember the first song you wrote? How old were you when you wrote your first song?
I think I was super young. I think I was like 10 or something, and I remember writing it about my dad nagging me.
Do you have it? Do you know it still?
No.
Well, it's, if you ever think of it or you have a recording of it, I'd love to hear it. But so when did you first think, well, who were your influences? I read a really great thing on your Instagram about all of the black influences you had, musicians and artists who were black singers and songwriters and
Yeah.
superstars, really, who influenced you. What was your very first album or music that you just went crazy for and said, "Oh, this is where the place I want to go."
Right. So I think I have 2 answers to that. So I got into jazz at Berkeley, and then I just kind of like fell in love with all of those voices and jazz standards, and I fell in love with singing them. And then in terms of like singer-songwriter stuff, I fell in love with Simon and Garfunkel, and there's this singer-songwriter named Elliott Smith. I love anybody who has like really well thought out poignant lyrics, and that's kind of what got me into it. Is just like being able to tell a story through music.
Do you know my dad was a jazz musician,
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
a cornet and trumpet player with Hoagie Carmichael?
That's so cool.
Yeah, he was pretty famous in his time. I have a picture of him with Hoagie who did Stardust. Did you ever hear the song Stardust?
No,
I think you should do it as a song sometime. I
I'll look
think
it
you'd
up.
really enjoy it. It's a really famous song. It's a little dated, but and I think that's why I went into comedy because the timing on jazz and comedy are pretty similar. They're
Oh,
both
really?
there's some extemporaneous stuff, where you just take the riff that you're working on in music, right? In
That's
jazz,
so
and you
true.
just go with it. So I felt like that, and I've always wanted to be a singer, and so it's funny, but I got a lot of criticism when I would sing, and I'll tell you that story later, but about what I'm planning on doing. But yeah, I always felt really close and loved music, and especially loved, a lot of the musicians you did in that post about, because I thought that post was really significant that those people really influenced you in music, and
Yeah.
I remember was in Norway and I saw Etta James
Oh my god.
in Norway, and I was there just exploring my roots. And I went to a concert. I don't know how I even knew she was there, but I saw a poster, and I went, and it was fantastic. It was
Oh my
really
god,
good
that's
for me.
amazing.
Yeah, God, she could sing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Um,
I,
so,
go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, just one of the best musical experiences I had was just playing, with these jazz musicians at, there's a club above this restaurant called Vitello's, and, we did a whole jazz night, and I got to come in and feature on one song, and I got to, like, sing with the drummer who used to drum with Ella Fitzgerald, and it was just, like, it's the coolest thing to play with musicians who can just, like, follow along with you, and it's, like, it's magical. That was the coolest experience I've ever
Yeah.
had.
Vitello's, did you say?
Yeah, it's in Studio City, and then they have,
Yeah, I know the
2
restaurant.
yeah, they have 2 different rooms, one's upstairs and one's on the level floor, where they do, shows.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
So after you did that, were you sky high? Were you like, oh my God, I'm in love with this?
Yeah,
I have got to do more, right?
yeah, I love performing, and I love performing songs that I really, really connect with. It's the best. I kinda
What do
black
you,
out when I perform, like, I don't really remember it, I just know it was fun.
so when, what's your favorite blackout song? What's your favorite, like when you're down and like, I got to get this, do you have one that you go to, like it's your go to, or a musician or a,
I love singing musical theater.
oh, you do?
Yeah, and when I'm alone, I love, like, doing karaoke by myself and just, like, pretending I'm on a Broadway stage. That's
What is the last one you did when you were alone? Tell me. Can you
um,
remember?
yeah, the last one I did was from Hamilton.
I just watched Hamilton and
Did
I
you love
loved
it?
it. Which song did you do?
It's called Burn.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's fantastic. Beautiful music, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I saw it
Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton.
exactly.
Exactly. You get into it. I love it. I loved it. I really, I'm going to go see it now live, but I was okay with watching it. It's a long uh, thing. It's not just a short. It's so deep and much content. I loved it. I really loved it.
Yeah, it's incredible, and the more you watch it, the more detail and, little moments you see. It's so brilliant.
And to be able to pull it off with that simple set.
I
Oh my
know.
God. Those are my favorite shows,
Me
when they have
too.
that simple, easy, just perfect, like those
Yeah.
staircases that moved around.
Mhm.
So does that mean you're going to try to write a Broadway show sometime? Because that would be a fun
That's
experience.
one of my dreams. I would love to write
Yeah.
a Broadway show.
When did you decide to do an album? How did that all go down?
Um, I started working with a new manager, like, 2 years ago, and then I started writing a lot of songs, and, I ended up finishing a lot of songs, and then, I had released a couple singles, and then we were gonna release an EP, which is basically a small version of an album, and then I kinda realized that I had enough songs to release an album, and I was like, "Hey, should we just make this, like, my album debut?" And then we thought about it, and we were like, "Yeah, let's just put all these songs together and release it."
That
And
must have
so
been fun.
it was really, really fun. And, I got a really good response, which I mean, not that I wasn't expecting it, but it was great for my first ever release. I was really happy.
Doesn't that make you feel good? Like, when something goes well and you didn't, you kind of just put it out there and people found it, and people, I think your music is moving. It moved me when I listened to it. I
Thank you so
loved
much.
it, you
I
know?
think, like, the biggest compliments for me is, like, just when a friend of mine tells me that their friend listens to it for fun. Like, just when, like, somebody you don't even know listens to it while they're driving or just, like, for
Hmm.
no reason other than the fact that they like it. I'm just like, "That's the coolest thing ever."
And that's my theory about success and fame. You're not famous until your parents mention, Judy loved your album. Judy
Right.
loved your special. My mom, as soon as my mom's friend thought I was famous, I became famous, because it's just a funny thing, but there's some kind of validation there. You're right. when somebody says they love me and I don't know them and they love something about me, I'm sure you felt the same way. And it's a
Yeah.
wonderful feeling.
It is, and like, I mean, a lot of artists like myself have low self-esteem, so, like, when I hear my parents say they like it or my friends, I'm like, "Ah, they're just saying that," but when it comes from a stranger, it's like, "Oh my god, they mean it."
Low self-esteem is it brews long enough, it becomes a big head esteem that
Big head
takes you,
esteem?
yeah, that takes you someplace.
I hope
Because all
so.
that stuff, where artists are, they have a bottomless pit of self pity and low self esteem and all that stuff. That's a big
Yeah.
brewer spot. That's a gift as long as you don't let it consume you.
Totally. I remember when I first started, going to songwriting workshops, I brought in this song and, I would there would be songwriters in the room, like professional songwriters, and they would give us feedback on our songs, and they were like, "We love your songs, but people don't wanna listen to you pity yourself." And I was like, "That's probably
What?
true." So that was a
Well,
big
how did that make you kind of like, okay, I can do this, but I can't. I've got to have something hopeful in it. Then, did you think that,
I don't
or were you
necessarily
just mad?
I think it was just too, like, woe is me to the point where it was annoying.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. But I don't really shy away from having a sad song with no hopeful moment. That's not really I love sad songs, but I think a good tip to take away from me was people don't wanna listen to you pity yourself.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm going to take a sip of my. If you need a sip of anything,
Ooh, I'll
or if you
sip
want to
my
get yourself.
coffee.
Yeah, me too. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Remember, it's Sophie Ann music out there on Spotify and iTunes and all those other things that I don't really know all about, but they're out there. And well,
Yeah.
I think I found it on Spotify
Oh,
because
nice.
I downloaded it right away. I bought it right away.
So
So
nice.
because that's one thing I learned is to support people you really care about. And
Yeah.
I'm real eclectic and I like a lot of different things, but um, I've always uh, I've always been fond of you and loved you, and then to have you take this jump and this transition, it was really great for me. It
Aw.
really made me feel like, oh, this is good. I know I've been where you are on a different level, with my comedy, but I've been right where you are, where I think I got the best routine right now. You know what I
Right.
mean? And when I did my first special, I had been working on it for so long. And I think that happens with the first album. You work on it so long and so hard.
Yeah.
And then they go, "Can you do another album?" You go, "Not yet. I'm not ready."
Yeah,
Like,
like, I'm
your
still thinking
second
about this
special,
one.
you go, what am I going to talk about? I think I did everything. Can I just quit now? And
Yeah. It's like I need to live, like, a year or 2 before I have more stuff to write about.
well, I would imagine during this pandemic that you've been faced with yourself, like I have been faced with myself. But just 2 days ago, I found a thread that took me someplace that I think, because we do as songwriters or as writers and comedians in general, we look for a thread and we know that lifeline to that where that thread's going to take us. And it really, it kind of it woke me up and made me excited about the fact that, oh, this is a great bit that I can anchor the special with.
Right. Yeah. Have you had a hard time being creative during the pandemic at all?
I have I had a hard time writing because I just finished a book and it just came out on paperback on Mother's Day, and I can't decide if I want to write a book. I really kind of want the next book to be purely hopeful,
Okay.
So I don't want to dredge up or do any of that dredging that I'm really good at. But I have had a hard time with the writing part, but I have done a lot of these kind of things
Yeah.
because I always wanted to be a talk show host. So, but I like this format because I can pick the people instead of having a producer pick it.
Right.
So yeah, I have had a hard time, but and in other ways, doing this stuff has been pure fun, of course.
Yeah, this is so great. I've had a
Because
hard
this was,
time too.
have you?
Yeah, just because everything I write is usually like based off of personal experience. So when I'm not doing anything, it's hard to pull that out. So I've been pulling from past experiences a lot.
Yeah, I think you have to go towards your inside harder, and just go, listen, there's stuff down there. This is what I want to do. But, that pot can stew a while. I think what you're doing when you sing the songs that you like, and I see them on Instagram all the time, I think that's just getting your pot stirred and getting you ready
Mhm.
to do your own thing. So, I wouldn't be too hard on yourself. It took me a while to figure out exactly what I was going to do. I always say you can't wait long enough to do something successful. You
Right.
know, you can't.
Yeah.
I always say to people, you can't wait long enough to become famous, because the longer you wait, the more you're prepared when you are famous. So, and
Right.
fame is something different than it used to be, but it's about reaching people.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope it works out for me. We'll see.
It is working out, really,
Thank you.
because if you've opened this door, I think you just have to keep going. And I think advice I would give you is, I would do these sessions with. I noticed you did a session with someone else recently. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I do this
And
pretty
who is
frequently.
that?
I work with other artists, like up and coming artists who want to release a song or who like haven't released much music. My manager usually puts me in touch with them, and then we've been doing it over Zoom lately because of the pandemic, but usually
Yeah.
it would be in person. But I love
And
doing that too.
didn't you do it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah,
So when is that going to come out? And do you want to plug it at all?
I can't yet, but we'll
Yeah.
see. I mean, the artist likes the song as of now. You never know what's going to happen, but hopefully,
Okay. Well, good. Well, let me know so that I can put it on here,
I will.
even as an after product placement. Do
Okay, I will definitely.
you have one of your albums right there? Do you have a live copy? I mean, a physical copy of one of your albums?
I don't.
You should make them send you one so you have it for framing.
I know, I should. That would be really cool. I wanna get a vinyl. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah. This guy wants to do a vinyl of some of my old material.
Oh,
And I
that's
said,
awesome.
do it.
Yeah.
You always say do it. And then you
Yeah.
say, you know, I'm getting ready to retire a bunch of jokes forever.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna do two specials. One about all my jokes about my weight and being fat. And the other one is all my Vegas material. I'm gonna retire both of them and not do them anymore and put them out as two different half-hour specials.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. One is called Fat a Lot of Good It'll Do Ya. And the other is Viva Las Louie.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna have fun doing them. I don't do the jokes anymore, a lot of them especially, and I just want to
Mhm.
retire them. And I want to start working on this new special.
That's
What
so
what
exciting.
have you started working on another album? Have you got one song that you're gonna do again?
No.
Yeah.
I don't have anything yet.
What's this? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I still feel like this album is so new and I, like, don't wanna let it go yet.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way. What song um, do you love more than any other song on that? Is that the one you played?
Um, no, it's the one that I'm gonna play later. It's called Rinse Repeat. That's my favorite song
Oh,
on the
I
album.
love Rinse Repeat. I love Rinse
Thank
Repeat.
you.
First of
Yeah,
all, I
that's
love
my
the
favorite
name.
one.
I love the name, and I think it's tremendous.
Thank
How does
you.
a person make it in music now? Do they just post stuff like you're doing and hope it catches on? Do you do promotion? How do you do it where you can remain being an artist and not act like you're promoting yourself? Isn't that the secret?
Yeah, it's so hard. I mean, social media is huge right now, so I guess the ideal situation would be to go viral on Instagram or something like that. But also there like people who have investors definitely have a leg up on others because it's
Yeah.
very expensive to make music, like very, very expensive. So that's also a roadblock people hit is like, how am I supposed to make an album when it costs like thousands of dollars, when somebody's first starting out?
I
But
think you should write that song.
I should.
You should write that song about, I want to do another album, but it's too, whatever, you know what to do. But also, I think you should do you like Charlie Bluth at all?
I do. I love him. I think he's so
You should,
talented.
you should do Girlfriend.
Yeah, I should. I
You
should.
should cover Girlfriend
Yeah, that's
or
a he's
anything,
so good.
anything. But that one, I think, would get you a lot of play covering it because it's
Okay,
so
I'll
hot
do
right
it.
now.
I'll do it this weekend.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a good song. It's kind of a departure for him, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that I don't know if he does all his he had done all his music by himself in the past, I'm not sure, but I think he wrote, produced, did everything on this song by himself, which is really
Yeah.
awesome. Which is something I wanna work towards too, which would cut a lot of the costs as well, as if I just learned how to produce and do everything on my own.
Well, I encourage you to do it. I think it's a great idea. Who's your very favorite? Who was your very first favorite famous musician that you loved,
Hmm,
or
my
one of
very
them? One of
first.
them.
Um, I'm trying to think. I was obsessed with the Dixie Chicks for a long time.
Now they're just called the Chicks.
Are they?
Yeah, they changed their name.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna
But
take
yeah,
another drink.
go ahead. I loved the Dixie Chicks. Let me think. My very first, I mean, my parents raised me listening to, like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young and Simon and Garfunkel. So
Oh
those are
yeah.
those are still my favorites. But
Did I send you the Simon and Garfunkel, the Paul Simon and the Bob Dylan?
I don't think you found it. I think you were telling me about it, but I
Oh,
don't
I
think you
didn't
shared
find
it.
it. They're doing, I forget what they were doing, but oh my God, that was so good. It was, it was Bob Dylan and with the harmonica, it was so good. But, you know what my connection is with the Dixie Chicks?
Ooh, what?
So I did the Family Feud,
Uh huh.
and I had, um, I was supposed to have Willie Nelson, the Dixie Chicks, and somebody else. Now I feel bad that I don't know who that other. I know I think that's it. Willie Nelson, the Dixie Chicks, and um, Keith Urban. Right
Oh, I
when
love
he's
Keith Urban.
yeah when he started really early, but he was already I think kind of a underground. I think he was pretty famous when he started maybe. So anyways, I got Buck Owens because Willie couldn't make it, so Buck Owens and the Buckaroos,
Uh huh.
which my mom loved Buck Owens. Uh, and I had the Dixie Chicks and Keith Urban. They were lovely, and Keith especially was a very nice person. They were all very nice. So that's
Yeah,
my connection. They were on the Family Feud. I
that's
forget who they
awesome.
played. I can't remember who they played, but it was
That's
really
so
funny.
cool. And looking back at the Dixie Chicks, they're just so cool because of like the political stances they would take. They were like, I mean, before cancel culture was a thing, they were canceled for a while because they spoke out against Bush, and I think that's just like the coolest thing.
Yeah, they got really hurt by that,
Very, yeah.
which really sucked. You know,
Mhm.
and this is happening with artists today, where people are going after artists for what they say or what they do. You know,
Yeah.
it's sad to me, but yeah. Well, that's cool that they were somebody you really liked.
Yeah, and now later in life, I'm going through a Dolly Parton obsession. Like
Oh,
I'm obsessed with her.
another connection. Just so you
Woo.
know, it was between me and Dolly Parton for the Family Feud job.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So funny.
isn't that a funny
That's
juxtaposition? But
yeah.
I could see her doing it. She would have been great.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I opened for Dolly a few
No
times.
way.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
opened for
awesome.
tons of artists like Dolly and Smokey Robinson and the Pointer Sisters and
Wow.
all those great acts. And but Dolly was really fun. Oh my God, Dolly was so nice. She was the nicest person in the world.
She's so talented. It's crazy. And learning
That's
that like
another
she
song
wrote
you could. Oh,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, that she wrote "And I Will Always Love You" is like crazy to me.
I mean, artists are artists, and that's another one for you to do.
Oh gosh. That's a big one.
Or maybe just do 9 to 5 for fun.
Yeah, I love that song.
It's such a catchy jingle, isn't it?
It is. It's so good.
Were you ever a fan of Janis Joplin's?
Yeah, yeah, I like Janis
Yeah,
Joplin.
because Janis Joplin was one of my favorite people of all time.
Really?
I just loved her.
Oh, and also like Joni Mitchell, and do you know who
Oh yeah.
Annie DeFranco is? Just like any songwriter that's able to tell a story like that is so inspiring to me.
Again, Sophie Ann music on Spotify, Spotify, Apple,
Spotify.
Spotify. That's the one I'm going to open now. Let's start Spotify. Anything you want to say to young, especially girls out there and young artists about feeling that they're feeling like they're giving up? Anything you want to say to them or?
Yeah, I mean, I still think about giving up all the time. I mean, just because you see so many people, or I see so many people that are so much younger than me that are so much further ahead, which is really intimidating. But I think what I try to keep in mind is I don't think you're ever too old or you're ever like you never reach your expiration date. So I think you should always keep trying because I don't think it's ever too late. And that's what I always tell myself is like I'm not behind. I'm on my own journey and it's going to happen when it's meant to happen.
And when you do get down, do you use music to get out of it or do you mope around for a while or both?
Both. I usually complain to my dad a lot and he gives me tough love. He's like, "Well, that's the business you chose," and all that stuff. But
And
I just
his tough love is really love.
yeah, it's really love.
It's really love.
And he's also encouraging. He's like he reminds me of everything I've accomplished and all that and which is helpful. I think I just need to get it out every once in a while that I'm frustrated and then I'm like, "Why
Yeah.
didn't I just choose to be a lawyer? Like I would know
Ah,
I would know what my life is." I would
I
have a
wouldn't be talking.
salary.
I wouldn't be talking to you, unfortunately.
That's true. I'd be
I would
missing out
just
on all
hear
this.
what you were doing. Oh, she's a lawyer now. Oh, well, that's disappointing.
How boring.
I would think that they would be very disappointed had you chosen not to be an artist. I think they would have been disappointed. They may not have said anything, but I think they're very proud and thrilled. Your dad is probably just
Yeah.
so watching over you with those beautiful kid gloves he has, because he really cares. By
Yeah.
the way, expiration date. I'm not an extra. I don't have an expiration date. Is
Uh-huh.
a great title for your next album.
That is a good title.
Yeah,
Expiration date. I like that a lot,
yeah.
actually.
And do you know what kid gloves are?
Yeah.
Do you have a pair of kid gloves?
What do you mean?
They're called kid leather. It's a leather.
Oh, no, I don't know what they actually are. I
They're
just know the
gloves. My
expression.
mom used to have a pair, and they're
Uh-huh.
really soft, young leather, which is sad, kind of, when you think about it. But that's why uh, that's why they call them that. At least I think. But I make up stuff, so it might not be true because before Google, I was an expert at everything.
Yeah, I have no idea what they actually are. I just know the expression.
Yeah. Um. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I just want to thank you for having me on. It's so nice of you and your support is just so meaningful.
Well, I wouldn't have had you on if you weren't so great.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, you really are great. I don't say that lightly. I
Thank
haven't
you
bought
so
it.
much.
I haven't bought an album for a long time, and I'm really glad that I have yours.
Oh, thank
And
you.
and again, Sophie Ann music. Spotify and Apple, and what are the other things that people can get it on?
Well, they can find me on Instagram, which is just Sophie Ann Music, SophieAnn. And then Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. I think I might be on a couple other things, but those are the most popular ones.
Yeah. Are you ever going to do like a little concert?
Yeah, I was planning. I had one scheduled, and then COVID hit, so I had to cancel.
But maybe a
Um,
concert online on Instagram.
yeah, I did an Instagram live concert recently, which was really intimidating. It was fun, but it was intimidating because you don't like get any kind of reaction from an audience because it's like you're singing to yourself. But it was fun. I definitely want to look into doing some kind of online concert.
I think you could do a fun one on Facebook Live. Just don't read any of the comments because that's all I always. I never like. I ask someone else to read them because I don't want to hear anything negative.
Right. Oh, that'd be terrible while you're performing.
Well, I'm sensitive, so I can't see it anyways when they're coming in. So that's a good thing about having older eyes. You can't see the comments. So, but I just like the idea that it's invigorating to see all those hearts and love and all that stuff go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I say go forward, do everything that can expose yourself to everything else. And I'm so happy you agreed to do this, and I love you so much,
Oh, I
as
love
you
you.
know. And I hope your album just keeps selling, and you uh, keep working and keep doing your thing. And we'll do another one later on to find out how everything's going again, because you know I love
I
you.
love
So,
that.
yeah.
Aw. Thank you
So
so
you want
much.
to play us out with your favorite song from Just Me?
Yes, I will play rinse repeat. Okay. Okay. Your hands in my hair, old sparks make a flare. Fucked up, I don't care. One night, what's the harm? Feel safe in your arms. We'll turn back tomorrow. And it's always the same the next day. I gotta pretend that I'm okay and that I don't miss you like crazy. 'Cause when I tell you, you get mad. Feel the need to remind me you weren't happy. But all I remember are the good things we had. Ooh, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Ooh, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I know that you don't love me, and come tomorrow I'll be history, but I still pretend, and then we do it again. Clean sheets on my bed, wash you from my head. I try to forget, but I sleep in your shirt. Make believe it don't hurt. Can I see you tomorrow? Ooh, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Ooh, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I know that you don't love me, and come tomorrow I'll be history, but I still pretend, and then we do it again. And it's always the same the next day. I gotta pretend that I'm okay and that I don't miss you like crazy. 'Cause when I tell you, you get mad. Feel the need to remind me you weren't happy. But all I remember are the good things we had. Ooh, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Ooh, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I know that you don't love me, and come tomorrow I'll be history, but I still pretend, and then we do it again.
I love you, Sophie.
Love you.
Sophie Ann Music. Check it out. Rinse, repeat. I love you a lot.
Love you too. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, anytime. And give your parents both a big hug for me.
I will.
You made my day.
Oh, you made my day.
Yay, we made each other's day.
Yay.
High five.
All right. High five.
All right. Love
All
you.
right. Bye.
Bye.
Let me call you sweetheart.